Hustlers, welcome back.
What's going on?
Man, it feels good, huh?
Happy to be here.
They
Man,
needed it. They called us. It was calling for us. They needed these conversations back. So we back, man.
and it feels good. I'm happy. Everybody happy. To all our supporters, people back home, thank you so much for all the love and support.
For real.
And for everyone who's just now tuning in, let's just jump straight into it.
Come on.
Welcome to the Hustlers Only podcast, the Entrepreneur Network. I'm GQ. Follow her with my partners, Kevin Chase.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
And without further ado, today, the guest that we have for you guys is very special. He's a highly accomplished entrepreneur and a serious marketing expert.
Yep.
And a CEO and founder of Tykoon Enterprise, my man, Peter Iwuh.
Yes, sir, man. That was a wonderful intro, man. Appreciate that, man. It's a
Mr.
pleasure to be here
Iwuh.
among the Hustlers pods. It was like
Good.
home. You dig?
We had to start it back with you, bro. It was
That's
key.
an honor, man.
You, real quick, before we even get started, I want you to know that conversation we had where you brought up like, hey, when is the pod gonna be back? Or you said something like, I know y'all chilled on the pod. I was like, that hit me. I said, hold on. Immediately when I heard that, I hit both of them like, bro, we gotta start it back.
People be watching, man.
We gotta start it
People
back.
be watching. You never know who's watching. Like, even if they don't like it, even if they don't comment, people see it. And it's like when it's gone, people equally feel that absence. You know
That's a
what I
fact.
mean? So
That's a
I
fact.
guess I fell in that like atmosphere of people who was missing the content. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to be on this side of it as opposed to like the phone. I'm normally always tapped into everything. So
Right.
it's a pleasure, man.
Now it's on you, man. We gotta figure out your story, how you got to where you at.
Yeah, man. So originally started off, I was actually born and raised in Maryland, Hyattsville, Maryland. So most people are familiar with Baltimore, Maryland. So Hyattsville is like an hour away or some change. I was raised by a single mom from Nigeria, and I lost my dad when I was 7. 2000 and I think I was 6, 2007.
Sorry to hear that.
When we was growing up, a lot of people thought that we was gonna go back to Africa. Like a lot of people thought my mom could have raised us because obviously we was so young. Like I was the oldest of 3 boys. Well, I am the oldest of 3 boys. So it was 6, 5, 4. And my mom, just came to America, excuse me. And, when my dad brought her from Africa to America, like, she was kind of like a house mom, you know what I mean? So she didn't work. She didn't know how to pay bills. She didn't really know how America really operated. You know what I mean? My dad was really, like, handling all of that. So the unfortunacy of his passing kind of put her in a position to where as though she had to like raise 3 boys and like figure out like America, like how to pay bills, how to buy grocery,
That's tough.
all of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And still burying him too. You know what I mean?
Right,
and we
right.
had to do that back home. So it was a lot of challenges and just a lot of doubt in our family just coming up off rip. You know what I mean? So just kind of witnessing the different tribulations that she's been throughout that process till now, like raising me and my brothers and just, staying on her 10 feet is really what really inspire like everything I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So
Love that.
in that process, like I went to school in Nigeria, also seen another side of life that makes me appreciate me being in America more, you know what I mean, than most people, because I've been on the side of we had like limited water, limited light, a lot of education because they want us to be hella smart, but you know what I mean? For the most part, like a mixture of different things kind of play a role in like, where things are at right now. So yes, sir.
Well, first and
Inspiring
foremost,
already.
yeah, that's inspiring, bro.
Yes, sir, man.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah,
Bro.
shout out to my Dukes. Had to kick it off. Shout out to her, man.
No doubt.
So I
I think
gotta-
we all can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like that story just hit.
I'm a
home.
mama's
I
boy.
know for me, you,
Yeah.
like we all mama's boys, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just working with what we had growing up. That's like our fuel, and like we
Exactly.
have our vision, and it's we all execute.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
The funnest part, yeah.
Yeah. And I want to hit on a key topic of when your father passed, you being the oldest,
Yeah.
you have to step up and take that role as being that the father figure, the man figure of the house.
Exactly.
How did that shape you young, and how did that shape you to who you are and the successful person you are today?
Yeah, that's a good question because I think that it plays a role in like my leadership skills right now. You know what I mean? I think it essentially started right then and there, right?
Yeah.
Like immediately when like I kind of realized like, he's gone, he's not coming back. My mom kind of has to figure this out with people who are 6, 5, and 4,
Yep.
some sort of thinking cap had to start toiling, you know what I mean? And working and really thinking about how can we support our mom, whether it's just by like using the computers, because at the time, again, she's just coming from Africa. So like she didn't know how to like open a Gmail or do passport photos. There's a lot of stuff that we had to like learn how to do and support her quick.
That's
you know what I mean? So I think that just being in those positions of being under pressure, like dealing with situations where it's like, as much as you would want your emotions to be involved, you have to think like logically. Like a lot of that really started presenting itself like at a very early stage. You know what I mean? So
Man,
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to be on a young man for sure.
yeah, man, we ain't really have too much support because even till now, like my mom, my brothers, and us, we're the only people in my bloodline in America. So like everybody
Wow.
else is like family, friends, like neighbors, that kind of thing. So we don't really have like direct family like in America, even till right now.
Nobody to lean on.
Yeah,
It was on you.
exactly.
Wow.
All you guys got is each other, literally.
Yeah, like, literally. You know.
it puts your back against the wall at a young age, but it
Yeah.
creates a great individual.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that because I was gonna say now. With that being said, growing up, your middle school, high school, like how's that? And then on top of that, what's the vision that you have?
Yeah, and that's a great point because that's a good segue. So, essentially, born and raised in Hyattsville, and I was in America obviously from when I was born all the way to when did I go to Nigeria first? 6th grade. So when I was in 6th grade in Africa, I went to an all boys school, it was a boarding school, and it was in the bushes. You know what I mean? And in the bushes, in the like literally, the school was in the bushes, but like it was a pretty well off school, like structurally and everything. If you ask me, at least, but. You know, there I think that also kind of really shaped who I am today because in that situation, like the life over there was relatively tough, right? And it was a religious school too. So the way they kind of operated to kind of give you perspective, in the morning they essentially like woke us up with like canes. So like we used to have like hostel masters. We all used to be in like bunk beds and we used to have like mosquito nets. I don't know if you have ever seen like mosquito nets on a bunk bed to prevent mosquitoes from biting y'all. To give y'all perspective of what I mean, like we were in the bush. You know what I mean?
I seen it with like camping. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
similar
something
to-
like that. But
yeah,
like we would have
gotcha.
bunk beds and everybody would have mosquito nets just to put in perspective like
Yeah.
how we was living. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Wow.
like in the
Serious.
morning, like we used to wake up, we used to have like a hostel master like come with a cane. He would hit the door, boom, boom, boom. Everybody wake up. If you're not up, your ass. Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we used to wake up.
That's
you know what I mean?
militant.
And that's just
Yeah.
because
That's boot camp.
6 a.m. your ass better be up or you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? So like
Wow.
that's and we used to be like 30 niggas. So it was like if you was in the front of the hotel, like or the hostel, I meant to say, like you're probably the first nigga. If you're asleep, your ass is gonna wake everybody else
Damn.
up. You gonna wake up like damn. Then that's how everybody
That's
else
gonna,
gonna wake
that's gonna
up.
spark everybody else.
So when we wake up, we go to like a fountain. It's maybe like I would say like 12 like boreholes and maybe like 2,000 students who will all go line our buckets up, like get water from the jump, like one at a time. This is like 6 a.m.
Wow.
If you wanted hot water, you had to go get firewood, get that shit going, boil your hot water. And this is still all time though. You know what I'm
6
saying?
a.m.
And this is to clarify, 6th grade?
7th, but 7th grade. You know what I mean? So I think I was like 12.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 6 years after my dad passed.
Yeah.
So like we're going through that. Keep in mind, we're bathing outside now. So the same place that like
It's
we like
cold.
washing our clothes, like where we dry it out, like that's where we would go and bath. So you would go and hide behind, like you would go and find somebody who washed like their cover. That's like big as fuck, like drying outside, go hide behind that, get your little water, whatever, and then go inside. And then we had to pray. After pray, we had something where it was called morning function. And it was essentially like cleanup. Like everybody had a spot in the school they had to clean up. So whether it was the steps, whether it was the kitchen, you definitely had to make sure your bed was dressed. Where y'all used to live definitely couldn't be dirty. So like that's kind of where I learned the importance of sanitary levels. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure your shit is clean, like making sure your bed, your kitchen, your living room, your kitchen, anywhere you live and lay your hand is clean. Cause we used to have even weekend expansions where like we used to come and show our nails. If that shit was long, they would literally whip that shit like go cut that shit, nigga. Like if they looked at your haircut, it wasn't clean, they would take scissors and cut through your hair so your shit can be fucked up and you just go and hit your barber like, yo, I
Hell
need my
nah.
shit
That's crazy.
cleaned up. You know what I mean? So like these are all things that
Tough
kind of
love.
played a role in like how I see life when I come back here. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, we got lights, we got soap, we got water, we got all this shit and y'all complaining?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come
You
on.
know what's crazy? Before you say that, it was an African dude. I don't know exactly where he was from, but we was talking to him, remember?
Yeah, in the Uber.
And he said, I think we was talking about something. I think it was like people doing drugs. And he said, too much freedom.
Exactly.
I was like, whoa. Because that showed me like people have a different perspective. Because over there, you're not getting away with a lot of the things
Exactly.
that happen here. You feel
Exactly.
me? But he was just like, too much freedom.
Exactly.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, man.
And even to that, yeah, like that's crazy. And even to that, you know, that's like a lot of discipline being taught at such a young age
Yeah.
to when you go to high school and like even now today, like those little things, you're making sure like you're always clean cut, bed always made before you leave the house, you know, always
Exactly.
cleaning up after yourself just because you remember
What used to happen
if
if
it
that
wasn't
the
like
case,
that, you know, you
was gonna feel it, man. But yeah, that was essentially what my high school meant. You know what I'm saying? And we had 10 classes too. So like the way it would work is we had 2 classes in the morning and then breakfast. Right. And then the way breakfast worked, we used to be at a table of 10, and then you would have like your table head. So that's the nigga that used to like the way we used to dish out food, we would have like a bucket of rice, for example, and you would take a plate like that, like dump it into the rice, get a full little stack, put it on the first nigga plate. So putting in perspective, you don't want to make that nigga mad. Because you're not gonna eat.
It's gonna be growling.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to make that nigga mad. So that's where you learn respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You learn respect. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to like go about a nigga who's really blowing you. Know this is gonna be the same nigga dishing out your food tonight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So do I square up with this nigga? Do I sit up? You know what I mean? And then, but back to the classes thing, we had breakfast after the 2 classes in the morning. Then we had 3 classes. Then I think we had a break. And then we had another 3 classes. Then at this point, it's like 5, 6. We go and sleep. We used to call it siesta, go sleep. They used to make everybody literally like go sleep for 30 minutes. And then after that, you had a couple more classes. You know what I'm saying? So that's 10 in a day that people are doing from 7th grade all the way to 12th.
Wow.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
this is all in the same bush, the same school.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
So literally from 7 to 12, it's the same routine every day.
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna get used to that.
Oh yeah, that's
so it puts you on a
crazy.
routine, like how to keep yourself accountable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Discipline's on point.
Yeah.
So when we transition from there, when are you coming back from over in Africa, coming back to America?
So I was in Africa from 7th to 9th grade, so I came back for 10th.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What was that transition like?
Yeah.
And is it straight to LA or
No.
back
So
to
back
Maryland?
to Maryland. Yeah. So I went back to high school, and it was tough. Obviously, I had my accent. You know what I'm saying? I'm FOB, as we used to call it, like fresh off the boat. You know what I mean? Like hella African. Like everything that looks like real designer to me. Like I was wearing like USPAs. Like I was getting flamed.
cooked.
Yeah.
I kind of learned a lot of things the hard way as it relates to like what America really was like versus like what I forgot. You know what I mean? But then I think one thing that started to click for me quick is like how many people were like BSing in this environment. You know what I mean? Like how many people were like not taking advantage of opportunity? Because back home, like to put in perspective, $1 in Nigeria right now is 1,000-ish naira. Like I know niggas who were like digging like home foundations with shovels for that. Like no tractor, no machines. Like I know niggas like right now that like if I wanted to build a house and I gave them like $5 in American dollars, they will go start digging the foundation. Which with a shovel is what I'm trying to decide. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I was just told you can buy. I know somebody, they bought the land and built like an 8-bedroom home. I want to say it cost them like $75K.
Yeah, because when it translates back to our currency, our currency back home, like nigga, you're like a gazillionaire. Like you're a multimillionaire at that point. You know what I mean? So you can do a lot of things, but like, you know, saying that to say like a lot of people here weren't like capitalizing off of like the resources that would be providing, whether that was through school or whether what like parents were speaking, you know what I mean, directly to their kids. And I'm like, hold on, we got niggas out here bullshitting.
And then most importantly as well too, you're coming back 10th grade. So, you know, there's the internet.
Exactly.
You know, so like how was it adjusting to that? Because did you guys have that back
yeah,
then?
yeah.
But it wasn't so advanced, I'd assume, or something, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? And that's also like another thing when it comes to like marketing and everything, kind of how I got exposed to that like through the internet, and I started realizing obviously like how much of it accessibility wise is available here, and like how the white people were using it to like get to us to spend our money, advertisement, all of those things. And like that was kind of where like, oh, this marketing shit, like, because how I really got into it was I used to simply just analyze commercials, and like if they were asking me, I'm like, yeah, if I was to create this commercial, I probably could have done better than that. You know what I'm saying?
You just seeing what you could
So
do.
you was kind of identifying like the hook and okay,
all that stuff. Like that was one of the first things that started like piquing my interest when I got back. Like we got all these commercials. We got Progressive, Geico, this, that. Like some of the commercials are good, make me want to tell my mom to take me there. Some of them are bad, and I'm like, somebody might be behind this, and that was kind of like the footstep trails into the marketing world. You know,
Curiosity.
Oh man, you my brother. For, I was about to say the power of curiosity.
I'm telling you,
for real.
I'm telling you, man.
And just coming from where you coming from as well. And then, you know, like you said, just getting to America and seeing like, oh, y'all playing. Like,
Yeah.
watch this.
Yeah, that was
it's
really
on the
mindset.
flow.
It's
was
on
the
the
mindset.
flow.
And
It's
that's still the
money on the
mindset,
flow.
like till right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Still is, yo.
Yeah, and you know, it only gets better. And so, you know, I did my research on you a little
Yeah.
bit.
Uh-oh.
So, you know, I see you got 8 certificates in
Yeah.
counting with
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
right. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's not light.
You know, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
man.
saying? So, like, when did the first one come about? And before you answer that, let me ask, when did you know, like, I'm marketing this it, nothing else?
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'll start with that, because that's
You know, it's gonna
timeline
be
flow
right
with
into
everything
it.
we're saying. Yeah, so
Mhm.
like in the process of like all of this curiosity and whatnot, obviously I'm still in the DMV area. I started like at this point I'm like 16 at this point. And when I was in the state, you know, I'm hearing about the celebrities coming to the clubs and everything. And obviously like I'm underage to get into the club. So I used to pay this one nigga to like get into the club all the time. Like
Love
when
it.
I was
I
16.
love it.
Gotta
You
know
know
the
what I'm saying?
gatekeeper.
Yep.
Because I'm like, yo, like who, like how can I get into the club? Somebody is gonna get me in, and then
Yeah.
I started going to the club on a consistent basis, just as a fan of celebrities, transparently.
Right.
And then I started to notice how much money I was spending with this nigga, like coming to the club. I'm like, hold on, I done came to the club 4 times this month, 60 times 4. That's woot the woot, and
Yeah.
I ain't making nothing. So
Mhm.
then my psychology started reversing. I'm like, yo, let me holler at this dude and figure out how I can make some money with him. Because if he's the same dude getting me in the club all this time, he must have some sort of pull.
Surely.
You know what I mean? That's where my curiosity is coming right back again, doing his thing. You know what I mean? Speak to the dude, come to figure out like he's the head promoter of the club. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Shout out to Swagville. That's one of my brothers and shit. But
Shout out to bro.
he's the same dude that used to like negotiate the contracts with like celebrities and everything. The same dude I was paying the bread to all the time. And I'm like, yo, like what you do? Like, how can I be a part? He tells me about the promoting thing. Start doing that for a little bit. And this is like when I'm in high school still. You know what I'm saying? That's what's like 16. I'm in high school still. So then, you know, he kind of tells me about the whole clubbing business and the promoting business. And then at the time I was actually working at the bank. It was weird. So Capital One had this program at my school where like they had a bank set up at the school. But I just kind of put that perspective to say like I was getting a little bit of cheese at 16, like in the midst of everything I'm explaining right now.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
Never heard of
nuts.
that. Never heard of that.
So that was like my first professional experience, but kind of going into the point here, the bread I was making from Capital One, like I was putting up with the head promoter into the club. So he's like, yo, we got Moneybag Yo. So he's explaining to me, Moneybag Yo is 50 bands. Me, you, and this nigga is gonna put up. So you put up 2.5% since you only got 2 bands. I'm gonna put up 10 bands. You know what I'm saying? So, and then on the kickback of the tickets, you're gonna get the same 2% you put up. We're gonna get a piece of the table. So I'm learning this shit pretty fast now.
Learning
You know
the
what
whole
I'm
business
saying?
of it
The
all.
whole entertainment
Hands on,
business.
in the feet down, 10 toes, like better experience than reading a book and all that.
Exactly, like just hands-on getting involved. So as we're doing the club shit, like one of the ways we used to make money off of shows is the openers. So like if you see like an upcoming artist like perform before Moneybag Yo, he probably paid the promoters like a band or 2 bands or some shit like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of like worst case scenario, we making money off openers. You know what I'm saying? So then that's how I got introduced to artist managers, because that's who we're dealing with to like, you know, get with the money. So I'm like, hold on, like I want to do that shit. Like I want to do the artist management shit. And then I'm already in the club, so I might as well just start promoting them here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes
Getting the
sense. That makes
DJ,
sense.
having
Makes
him
sense.
perform here. So
Streamline.
that's exactly what I started doing. So I went from working with just a club to then start doing my little artist management thing, bringing them through the club, having the DJ spin his records. And then I'm unknowingly doing marketing at this point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And again, this is still I'm in high school, so I haven't got to
That's
college
insane.
yet.
So you're
You know what I
going
mean?
crazy. You're not
Yeah.
even in college.
Yeah, I have not got to college
Very
yet.
impressive.
Impressive.
And I'm still coming to the 8 cert thing though, but I'm
No,
yeah.
we hip.
so boom, high school. So then I get to college. I go to Morgan State University. That's where I went to. And when I went there, I actually went there as a services supply chain management degree solely because the program convinced me. That's it. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I didn't know what marketing was at the time. Services supply chain, they was like, yo, we make you feel at home. I'm like, fuck it, sign me up. And I had a 2.5 GPA. So at the time, Morgan was like if you got the low GPA, go there type school. You know what I mean? So I just follow my crew to
Hey,
the low
free game.
Yep.
Low GPA,
All
go
right.
to Morgan.
Not no more though.
Okay,
Morgan is
never
lit
mind.
now though. Morgan is lit now. That was like 5 years ago now, at least at the time compared to
take
now.
that
But going into the point though, when I went to school everybody in the college scene obviously is doing party promotion. You know what I mean? So when I came in doing the club and shit, I had, you know, a few bangers here and there, but like not only was the competition too much, but like everybody was doing parties. You know what I mean? It was saturated. So I didn't want to stay consistent in the saturated market. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, what the fuck else can I do? So then I started doing interviews. So I started interviewing like Stunner for Vegas, like Fury with Guas. And I was like, you know, bringing them on the campus because most of them wanted to say I came to Morgan State.
Right.
So I'm like, caught Stunner for Vegas at the peak time.
Exactly. Exactly. Dating time wise. Yeah.
And that's a rapper.
Yeah,
that was the baby's right hand man at the time.
Oh, light skin, bro. With
That's like his right hand man when the baby's.
Yeah, at that time too.
Yeah.
You caught on early.
Yeah,
man, impressive.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I was bringing them to the schools, and to do interviews like similar like this. Funny enough, and the way it was set up, like the part of the school that I was using that had the equipment was the communications building, basically, which is the marketing building. So they're like. Basically, they're like, nigga, how do you keep on using our space and you're not even a marketing major? I'm like, hold on, like, tell me about marketing. Like, it's a marketing major. And he's like, nigga, what you been using our spots for this whole time?
Didn't even know he's been doing this as a job.
You know what I'm saying? This shit you been doing this whole time. We have students going to school for this shit.
Motion.
And I'm like, yeah, nigga, switch my shit ASAP. You know what I mean? So switched it, and then honestly, once I switched my degree, like school became like ABC to me because I was already doing this shit. You know what I mean? So that's where the certifications came from. Basically.
That is one hell of a way to bring it. That's great
beats
experience.
out like actually just going to school for you. Like, oh man, y'all are struggling on this?
Yeah.
Like, man, I learned this 5 years ago already.
Yeah, basically.
I've been doing this.
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
the situation.
It's almost like you didn't even choose it; it chose you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the wild part.
Yeah.
So what's the 8 certifications about? What is that about?
Yeah, so I have one. It's a lot. So I have a PR,
ahead,
so
talk your
public
shit.
relations certification. I also have an email marketing certification. I have a paid ad certification from Facebook. I have I have an influencer marketing certification.
Oh, I have.
What else do I have?
Don't forget.
I actually should just pull them out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I should just
Bro,
pull them out.
pull it up.
I don't know what our time is like and shit, but
Hey,
I should
good.
just y'all ask. I'm gonna just tell y'all all of them.
Yeah, bro.
You know, we
Shout out
want
to
the
people,
people to
man.
get to know you.
Yeah, nah,
understand,
you can't make
know?
it up. All right, cool. So I got all of them right here. So I'm gonna start from the top. So I got a athlete marketing essential certification. I got a Canva graphic design certification, social marketing certification from Hootsuite, digital advertising from HubSpot, email marketing from HubSpot, newsroom readiness, social media marketing from HubSpot, agency ready from PR Council, and then the Facebook certified associate from Facebook.
Damn.
Yeah, and then strategic communication degree from Morgan State.
11.
God damn, that's
11.
crazy, man. I wish I had like a
I was
horn or
cranking them in
something.
school. I was really because when I got into my marketing program, I'm like, hold on, bro. Like everything that I can get, like professor, dean, I don't give a fuck who you are, bring it on. Certification,
Yeah.
sign me up. Internship, sign me up. Like
I need it.
I was on everything. You know what I mean?
That's raw.
And then on top of that too, like you're so much more advanced because back home you got that discipline, you got that training,
Yeah.
you already got like a strict program. So coming
Yeah.
to the States in college, all this is just like easy, simple.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like I could stay out to however late. I know I'm about to be up at 6, 7 in the morning, do my
Exactly.
little routine,
Right.
right back to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like a great segue because what I wanted to ask is, you know, I don't know when you decided to start your business, but first explain what your business is.
Yeah.
And then tell us how you got into it.
Yeah.
And then explain what it is.
Yeah.
And what made you be like, I can just do this myself. Like,
Yeah. So essentially, and good thing because I spoke on it when I was speaking on that whole club situation. So once I officially started to work with artists, like that's when I started the Tykoon thing.
Mhm.
So we started off as Tykoon Management and Productions. Like that was the first Tykoon aspect, right? So I'll kind of go from that aspect. So we started off as Tykoon Management Productions, and then essentially my goal became to create something similar to how like the Walt Disney has or Sony has, for better example. They have Sony Pictures, Sony Music, Sony Films.
Right.
So like the vision was to have like a Tykoon this and that. It was progressively coming up, but like that was the overall vision, which it is now, and I'll kind of break that down. But it started off as Tykoon Management Productions, started working with artists first, obviously through the whole club situation. When I got to college and I was speaking on doing the whole media thing, then we started Tykoon Talks. That's what that was called at the time.
That was
And
the
I used to-
podcast.
That was the podcast. You know what I
Love the
mean?
name too.
We just kept it Tykoon blank. And then just fast forward, in the midst of like dealing with a lot of creators and everything, they started asking like, yo, like, outside of this interview stuff, like what else can we do? Like, can you help me do this on social media? And I'm like, that's when the whole marketing thing started coming full circle again. You know what I mean? Like they were organically asking, like, all right, like what's next? Like you just about to interview me and that's it. Like you go to Morgan, like you seem to have the wave, whatever. So that's how I got into marketing essentially. So from getting artists' music spun in the club all the way down to like digital billboards or something I started pretty early in the Baltimore market, all the way down to like doing like social media seeding. So like getting all of the blog pages to like post about something. So whether that's like Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked or Baller Look, just, you know, getting budgets and like plugging and playing, you know what I mean? And then we kind of just shifted everything to Tykoon Agency, which essentially is still like the breadwinner of the enterprise company right now. And is essentially like a marketing company where we work with like small businesses and creators. But the main aspect of it is Tykoon Enterprise, kind of like how you have like your Sony. So ours is Tykoon Enterprise. So you have Tykoon Agency.
The parent company.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, Tykoon Enterprise is the parent company. And then Tykoon Agency is essentially what the new evolved everything we started with and more is now, right? And then we kind of shifted the whole music thing because I still work with artists now and handle like their distribution, their marketing of the music. So that's Tykoon Sound Records. So that's the second brand.
Crazy.
And then the
Love
latest,
it. I love
yeah. So we doing our thing over there, like accumulated like 3 million streams and 3 million streams across the artists we work. We work with a couple, but independently we've been able to like, you know, pump out a lot of dope stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like on the radars, every magazine you can think of, you know, whatever. Like we've done our thing. Distribution partnerships, create videos. Shout out to them. But yeah, like we've done the music stuff, still doing it, but like. The priority right now is Tykoon Sports, you know, which I'm pretty sure we'll dig into in a second. But that's kind of like the breakdown.
Amazing.
Damn.
How many people you got on your staff? Do you know?
Yeah, so we got at least like 17 people.
Man.
But though,
That's amazing.
I'm gonna say this though, and this is like one of the real gems I really wanted to drop was like so out of the 17 people, a good amount of them are people that believe in the vision, right? Like more than anything else. Right. In other words, they're probably not too far in age. They're probably not too far in stage of life when it comes to just professional development. And there is a mutually beneficial situation if they're involved.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Everybody eats.
So there's that understanding, which is a cost-effective like standpoint of going about it. But I think the real aspect of my team that really helps me be in different places at once is like my virtual assistants. You know what I'm saying? Now they're compensated on an hourly basis, really cost effective, you know, based out overseas. And they do just about everything, you know what I'm saying? From like scheduling my posts, scheduling companies' posts, scheduling clients' posts, captions, emails, whatever I articulate, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where like and then obviously I'm a big AI person too. So I'm a big advocate of just working smarter and not harder. So like utilizing automations, utilizing virtual assistants is like really the sauce into like how I'm able to like do all this different stuff at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Scale with a low overhead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could you drop a few like gems as far as people who are looking for the virtual assistant?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
Where can they
you
find that?
definitely cracked the code.
Yeah,
I need
man.
that. It's really for me.
Yeah. So
Action for self.
yeah, so in terms of finding virtual assistants, this is essentially how I go about finding my virtual assistants and what I would suggest to anybody. So I will go to a platform called Upwork. So if anybody's familiar with Fiverr, it's kind of similar. The main difference is you can post the job, so you can be very more descriptive on like what you're looking for. If you need them to be on PST, if you need them to be on EST, give them a little bit of description on what they will be doing. Again, fun fact, AI, ChatGPT can help you with that and get that done in seconds.
Good job.
And then once you get your description, you put it on Upwork, and essentially what I do is I have a group interview. So once I post my job, I'll probably get like 40 applicants, 30 applicants. You can put how much you want to pay on there, your budget, everything.
Wow.
And once you have this group interview, like what I do, because mostly people are going to be from overseas. So they're probably going to be from the Philippines or Venezuela or wherever the case may be.
Right.
So once we get on the interview, let's say I have 30 people on the interview, the first thing I do is I give them a script. So I'm like, everybody read this script one by one. And what I'm looking for is who can speak the most audible English. If I can't hear you, then we out.
Yeah.
smart.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why I have all 40 of them at the same time is because if I don't do that, I would have to interview 40 people at like
crazy.
one at a time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I get all of them on one interview, and then I first ask, read a script based off of who I can hear, basically. We move on to the next task. The next task is Just something small to just kind of see how fast they move. So create a Google sheet and then list name, last name, company, and email. I want to see who submits it to me first. You know what I'm saying? This is all live on the jump. You know what I mean? And then we do maybe like one more test to kind of see. And then I have my VA options. And then sometimes what I do is if I have like a good 5, I put them on like a contract for like a 3-week or a 4-week trial.
Yeah.
Just so we're not like locked in, just to see if you even fit.
Yeah.
But then the work doesn't stop there though. But then you have to have SOPs, which stands for standard operating procedures. So you need to have everything they're going to be doing like detailed out, like written out
black and white.
in black and white. You know what I mean? And then normally what I do is after I have it in black and white, I record it on something called Loom. So it's essentially where you can like record your face and your screen and kind of like present it as like a recorded video and just send it to them.
That's fire.
You know what I mean? So like next week, I'm about to be, I'm not trying to say what I'm about to say, but like how it's about to sound, but I'm about to be in Switzerland for a week. But so all I'm doing right now between this week is recording all the videos of what I need my assistant to do while I'm gone. So I don't got to worry about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Multiple steps
And then she's
ahead.
already worked. So while I'm out next week, you might see me posting content. Best believe the work is getting done. You know what I'm saying?
This is
Jeez.
game.
So,
that I hope y'all.
That's
You're probably gonna have to
stupid.
skip back 3 to 5 minutes and
Crazy.
yeah,
rewatch
I try to
this.
come with it today, man.
Yeah, a lot
Up
of people
work,
gonna have
huh?
to like go all
Yeah.
the way back.
And especially
I'm on that.
nowadays, like we're young, so it's like
Own it.
being on AI and utilizing every advantage that we have in this world now. It's very smart because, like you said, you could hire somebody, pay them $20 an hour, and it's like, why am I doing that when I could go type this in, use this thing? Oh, I'm gonna say this. It's gonna repeat this. Post this Wednesday or send it to them Wednesday. Send this Thursday. And while you're out there, like you said, work's getting done.
The work is getting done. You know what I
That's
mean?
amazing.
And so you, of course, got to give them your login and everything, right?
Yeah, but they sound like, NDAs.
Okay.
They're in the Philippines, so it's like at least my current VA, they're in the Philippines. Like some VAs are like $2 an hour. Like the VA I have right now, she started at $2 an hour, but she's gotten like more than enough raises where she's like way more higher than that and making a good amount of living like where she's at
Yeah.
in the Philippines for her family. You know what I'm saying? Especially from her crib. She don't gotta leave. You know what I'm saying? I have a good relationship with the people I work with. Like their kids join us on the call if they sick, handle business. Like I'm an entrepreneur. I know how it be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like as long as we have like understandings, and that's another thing too, like you need to have systems with your VAs to make sure they're not BSing. So like one thing I have is like a 2-hour check-in. So every 2 hours, I want to know what you're doing, what you just completed, and what you're about to do every 2 hours. You know what I'm
Very good.
saying? And then after that, I need an end of the day report. At the end of the day, what did you finish and what you about to do tomorrow? If you don't know, ask me. I'll give you something. It's always shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same way of
That's
clocking
a
out a
gym
job.
Yeah.
too.
Exactly.
There's always something to do.
It's always something to do.
Always.
Always, you know what I mean? So that's really it. But a lot of people, I think the mistake with the VA shit is like they don't take the work to train the VA.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I talk to my VA every day. At least I try to. In the
Right.
morning, 15 minutes. Like, yo, what you working on? Share your screen. Show me what you cooking up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
An
saying?
employee.
Like something.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just so they know. Like, and sometimes I might even just like, as far as she's on her shift, I'll just call my VA like randomly. I don't gotta tell you. You're supposed to be on the clock. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I call, you pick my shit up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fact though.
Like
I'm
real
paying you
shit.
for this.
I'm paying you for this
Yeah.
shit.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
So it's like all of those type of procedures make sure that like they know you mean business. And
Mhm.
even the people that's not my VA, that's in the States, the same shit.
Yeah.
We have a 3-step rule. Look, first time warning, the second time you degrade your position, the third time we ask you to get out.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We're not about to have niggas
Yeah.
over here like taking up positions and not doing shit.
It's
I'm
no,
not having
it's,
There's other
it's no
people who
room
would
for
love it.
BS.
And
I love that.
That's how we go about the
Dope.
team shit.
I love it. Yeah, and like, bro, it's crazy because I'm hearing all this. Your upbringing, literally.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what I wanted to say.
Bro, your upbringing, like, and it's crazy because it's almost like everything's written. You know, like the
They
way you were
molded you for
raised,
this.
what
Yeah.
you had to go through early on to like now, just like how it like resonates and it just carries over.
Exactly.
And to even just to like your personal liking, like how you talked about your script that you have everyone read, you
Yeah.
know, making sure I could hear you clearly.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows how hard of a hassle that is. Like having to call in, it's like, damn, like what is you saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, language
yeah.
barrier and whatnot. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So you just snip that problem out the nib. But yeah, that's kind of how I like most of this. Was another question I think you asked me the team. Well, I think I answered it right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you answered
definitely did.
Yeah, you're good. You're hitting everything. And so
So I remember you posted a post, and I want you to fully go in on this.
Let's go into it.
What were you the first person from an HBCU to do?
Yes, that's a great question.
Yep.
So
talk about it.
Same time?
Talk about
Yeah, man. So until Google tells us otherwise, as I like to say as a disclaimer, we are the first Black name, image, and likeness marketing agency. So to kind of break that down for folks who are not familiar, essentially in the past, college athletes were solely just limited to scholarships and essentially just the clout that came with playing for schools. They weren't getting no money.
Yeah.
So that's why you have athletes who are scamming, trapping, getting into all types of BS because there's no other
need
route
some
to the
money.
bread.
Some
Bread.
You know what I'm
Yeah, I gotta
saying?
eat.
So, obviously, due to all those type of conversations, in June of 2021, the NCAA passed a law that student athletes can now pass a law. 221, I was still in college,
Mm.
and so it was,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying. So once I heard that shit, I'm like, oh boy,
It's
that's
up.
tough.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I'm
up.
saying?
Immediately.
So then obviously, because I graduated 222, so I'm kind of analyzing. I didn't just jump into the space immediately. I'm kind of analyzing, and what I always recommend business owners to do is like research the market, like see who your competitors are, see what they're doing, what makes this person different from this person, what makes
Sure.
that person different from that person before you even start your own shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just so when you do get into the shit, like you're already bulletproof of everything they got going on because you already analyzed that
Yep.
before starting in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I did in the NIL space. And I just noticed that everybody didn't look like me. Nobody looked like me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was already pondering on the idea because obviously, like while I was in school, a lot of people used to come to me because they knew about my marketing. Because another thing I didn't mention, I have just the amount of internships as I do certifications.
God,
You know what I'm saying?
Put your time in.
So my first one was Sony Music. My first job was at Sony Music. I also was fortunate enough to work with the Walt Disney Company, Meta.
Oh wow.
I'm actually about to do something with Lionsgate this year, so that'll make it 10 officially. But point being to me bringing that up is a lot of student athletes knew who I was because of my marketing efforts
Right.
and everything. You know what I'm saying? So they'll come to me like, yo, like, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? Like, how can we make some money? Some of them were coming to me with ideas of trapping and scamming. You know how it is when like your homie trusts you so much that he just might say some dumb shit and not realize it's some dumb shit. Like it's that type of thing. You know what I mean? So like that's like, yeah, I gotta start helping these athletes out. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
always wanted to get into sports, but like I don't want to be an agent though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the college shit was perfect. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, me and these niggas the same age. I can tell these niggas to get on their shit, maybe in a bit more of a nigga tone than like how a white tie dude would be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
so it's like the relatability,
difference.
like was like a factor that I seen as a privilege to take and run with it along with like the marketing experience and how new the shit was. You know what I mean? So it was like, even if I wasn't the first Black, like I still would have gotten into a space at a very early stage to whereas it would have been historical regardless.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
doubt.
So yeah, that's that. You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing, man.
Yeah.
I might be the only one here that don't notice. What does NIL stand for?
Yeah, so it stands for name, image, and likeness. So essentially, like when you see a commercial or when you even just see an event where a company is utilizing an athlete's or a celebrity's name or their image, which is like their picture, or their likeness, which might go down to even like their voice or just any visual element that can help you tie back to that person. But essentially, I like to say it's just influencer marketing, but student athlete edition.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's probably like a better way to just take that in. Because before they weren't able to do that. Before they weren't able to like partake in influencer deals like as the athlete. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now
They can get paid.
they can. Yeah. So essentially what we do is like help them build their personal brands. So like help them with content ideas on building their personal brands. Because a lot of student athletes think with this NIL shit, like with this NIL stuff, like you're not just gonna wake up and just have $1 million in deals and what like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when brands are looking for athletes, they're looking for athletes who have a personal brand and
Likeable.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we make sure you're eligible in that sense first. And then obviously like facilitating brand partnerships and whatnot. We've been able to do, since we started last year, we've been able to do like a little over 100 partnerships with like CVS,
That's
Ruffles.
beautiful, man.
Yeah,
That's
so
a lot,
Yeah.
bro.
we've been cooking
In a
up.
year?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's a lot,
Yeah,
bro.
appreciate it, man.
And just like some game for like some college athletes that's watching, what are some things you're looking at when it comes to like taking one of them on as like a client? Like,
Yeah.
obviously we talked about, you know, like the image and everything, but
Yeah.
when you're looking at their Instagram, just like seeing what they do outside,
Yeah.
like what are some like key things that's like,
Yeah.
you need to be doing X, Y, and Z, just clean it up, polish it.
Yeah,
How's
I
that?
mean, I normally like to say like, and one term a lot of people are gonna start hearing nowadays is the word like athlete creator. So you know how there's like content creator, like a new little trendy word in the NIL space is like athlete creator. So it's just like it's essentially a fair mix of an athlete and a content creator. You know what I mean? Because again, with me working at like a lot of these, and again, not to say if you're not a content creator, because we can obviously assist with that, which we do. But again, it makes it easier for us to like negotiate for more money and kind of just
Right.
secure more brand deals when your content speaks for itself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like when we first started, like we were working with student athletes and building up their stuff, and we're still gonna always doing it to continue to do that. But like moving forward, we're looking for student athletes who are just showing the initiative and understanding. Like, look, it's not just about the sports and the highlights and what you're doing on the court. Because I always tell athletes, like, we can go on ESPN and see that shit.
Yep.
We can go on your school's basketball page and see that shit. Like, I don't
Right.
need to see your highlights on your page, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I mean, it can be there,
Yeah.
but mix it up. Like, what do you do on a day in the life? Like, what is your
Yeah.
morning routine? You know what I mean?
And at one point, that might have been valuable, but we
Mhm.
just kind of in a different.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming we just in a different world.
Business
You
now
feel
is
me?
changing to personal brands.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
we're seeing it
They
with
gotta
Mr.
know you.
Beast, and now, like you said, now it's athlete created, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
So if you could get their personal brand to be worth and valued and have this much attention, which that's the currency now that people look
Exactly.
for, if they can get this much attention, you now have more
leverage.
to get
Sure.
for you to go out and now negotiate them
Exactly.
to these people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the complete opposite goes. Without the brand, it's harder.
Yep.
Right.
You're gonna get lesser bread.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so you gonna say something?
No, you, bro, you good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
something.
Bro, you
Now,
good.
you dropped the game.
That's
Like,
what
I'm
I'm
loving
saying.
this right
Nah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
like
trying,
it's we going, we
Yeah, I'm
rocking.
trying.
So,
no, you
I was
keep
gonna say, this is reminding me of bruh. What's his name? Johnny something. He was a football player.
Oh,
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
The dude that just got into the XFL that they didn't let him play because of YouTube.
No,
this is
that
a-
was the I forgot his name.
This is a dude who, when it was illegal, he was selling his own jerseys,
From
Oh,
making dumb
Texas Tech.
bread. though.
yeah,
or
Texas,
He was
Texas
making
Texas
A&M.
dumb
A&M.
bread.
exactly. Yeah. So now it's legal. So
Right.
They also do like merchandise for student athletes too. So
See, and the crazy part is like now, because he got in trouble for that.
Mhm.
yeah.
Can he come back and now say, "Hey, you owe me"?
Well, you know,
It's
laws were
tricky.
laws at the
It's-
time.
Yeah.
That they were at the
Oh,
time
okay,
versus what they
okay.
are now. So that would be
Yeah.
a hard argument.
Because I was gonna say, like, even like Reggie Bush, you know,
Yeah,
like
I was
he,
about to
Right.
say
he
that.
lost his Heisman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Due to
They just started. They said they're gonna give it back to him.
But that's like locking people up for weed. Now it's, you know,
Yeah, it's,
It is
NIL
tricky.
is still hella new
It's
for like,
wicked.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
that's tricky.
yeah. So you know, let's segue. that's another conversation. That's for off
Talk
of
about
this.
that off camera.
Yeah, we could talk about that another time.
So if we got somebody in high school right now
Yeah,
looking to say they're great at a sport, right?
yeah.
They're looking to elevate to the next level. How could they go find you and hopefully begin to get on your radar?
I mean, like you see, and that's the funny thing too, because it's just like if I was A&R and like you asked me the same question, like the same response that an A&R would give for artists, is the same response I'm gonna give. Like, I need to find you.
Mm.
Yeah.
You don't need to find me. You don't need to find me. If you're telling me you're hot and that's the first time I'm hearing it, or you're telling me da, nigga, I need to find you.
You're not
That's
hot.
crazy.
You're not
Love
hot,
that.
bro.
I heard that before.
You know what I'm
for sure.
saying?
Nick Cannon
Like,
said-
don't worry about finding me. Just listen to the shit I'm saying.
Yeah.
Put it into practice and let me find you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how, and that's what we're gonna have to tell most people. Like, a lot of parents call me, hey, my son, it's like, yo, moms, we're gonna hit you up like when the time is right.
Yeah.
You know, when he's eligible to fit in the system that we're trying to enhance here, like type thing. You feel me?
Mhm.
So that's what I would say.
I love
You
it.
know what I mean?
Free
That's
game.
amazing. That's free.
When
And
you're
that's
hot,
even
they'll
for
find your
anybody.
number.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're an
Yeah.
artist, like, let them label find you. If you're an actor, let the agency find you. If you're an athlete, let me find you.
Yeah.
And we'll find you. That's our job, to
That's-
find you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will find you. If
Somebody's
you're
getting paid to do that shit.
will.
My VA, if not anybody.
You know?
Right? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's free game. Hey, so whatever space you in, you're a creative athlete, anything, just keep doing your
Yeah.
thing. Keep working hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna pay off in the end, but just don't go looking and searching.
I mean, you can look
Lock
and
in.
search, but like, you know.
Lock in.
Yeah, like you're just gonna have more leverage if we find you. Right?
That's
You
a
know what I
fact.
mean? Like, you're just gonna have way more leverage because we came to you. So it's like, Ron, whatever you want for us to work with you, let's do it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're coming to me, it's the other way around. Whatever
Yeah.
I want from you, like you're working with us, kind of thing. So it's just like that's why I would do you the favor to tell you to let me find you, so we can talk on your terms.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because if not, we're gonna talk on my terms.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And that's just business. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
We went through that with Foot Locker.
yeah.
They found us.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
y'all
real.
wasn't like, they're like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, that's the conversation of let
Different.
me find you. They want to know what you want.
Yeah.
And fuck what I want.
That's a fact.
Like, how can we get you locked in?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Nah, that's crazy.
We,
So
we always got to ask this question. What was the hardest?
I was just about to
Hardship.
ask that, bro.
We're all, it's like telepathy over here.
Yeah.
What's the hardest hardship you had to go through with your business?
The first one.
I mean,
The one that almost broke you.
Yeah,
for
like,
real,
it
Nah,
that was that
I'm
make or
thinking.
break moment.
I'm trying to think, man.
Because, you know, like we're all in this journey and it started somewhere. You know, you had middle school, college, everything. And where's like that one setback where it like almost detoured you for a second?
I mean, I'm gonna answer this question like this, right? Like I think, and it's just like I wouldn't say the hardest moment. I would say just the biggest challenge that I even still go through right now is just as an entrepreneur, like we be trying to do all these side missions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we be trying to like the focus is this, and we be trying to do this and that and this and that and this and that. So it's like the reason why I say I want to answer that question like that is because like since I started like my business, like if there was anything that I would reduce, like is me trying to do all these side missions, like trying to be a clothing brand owner, trying to be a fucking OnlyFans manager, trying to be I did all that shit.
Yep.
I was OnlyFans manager. I still manage like regular influencers though, like just regular, like you know what I'm saying. But it's just like like I was trying to do all types of side missions, bro. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes Shopify store, drop shipping, every new shit, Amazon FBA, every new thing that came out, like I'm taking my bread that's supposed to be like aligned on this same mission and trying to do other shit. So it's like, if you're an entrepreneur, bro, just stay and on your wave and just focus on mastering your craft. Now, me, as I'm still doing 3 different things, like that's my own cup of tea type thing. I already been started like that, but like you don't gotta like do like 20 different things. Just take your bread, keep it in one place. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start trying to do like, oh, serial entrepreneur on my first business attempt, like 1,000 here, 1,000 here, you're gonna be broke, bro. So that's what the hardship was. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a real thing too.
No, I think that's probably some of the best advice
Yeah,
you
no.
can give.
Absolutely. Because that's what they say. Like a jack of all trades is a master of none.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
type shit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. But there's still pros and cons to both.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
I'm definitely not an advocate of that. Yeah,
But-
I'm definitely not an advocate of that.
They say what, pour into one cup till that overfills and
Type
fills
shit.
up the rest.
Exactly. And
So-
it's like to that point, and the reason why, and that's a great bar to what I'm about to say, because the reason why like I'm doing so much shit is because when I first got into the space, like my mindset was I want to be in the entertainment space. And a lot of people siphon entertainment into one thing, but for me, entertainment consists of music, film, and sports, and no fucking priority order. But
Yeah.
like it's multiple disciplines in the space. So like I kind of envision entertainment like athletes be listening to music all the time when they in the gym. Artists, if they in the studio, they're probably watching sports, betting on sports at the games. If both of them watching movies, like there is an intersection of entertainment. So for me, it makes sense in my pathway to have
100%.
a label and have a sports agency and then have a marketing agency that all of them are still gonna need at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As opposed to you're a nail tech and you're trying to do this, that, and the third. Just chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like the point I'm trying to say though is that like when you just brought up the whole like pour into the one cup and it overflows, like Tykoon is set up in that exact way.
Right.
Regardless of how complex it may look on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? They all kind of like pour into each other in one way or the other. You know what I mean?
It's all aligned in a way.
Yeah.
I love that because that's the same way that we've structured our businesses, and then same way with getting business with Gary or GQ
Yeah.
is
Don't say my government.
my bad. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna find out one day.
It's all good.
But
I'm capping.
you know, him being a barber, people see him on here. It's like, dang, like okay, I could go him for that. People see Yang on here. Oh, I can go in for that.
Mhm.
Everything that we're trying to do as far as businesses right now in the near 5-10 years, they have to waterfall to each other.
Exactly.
If
Vertical
it
integration.
doesn't somehow, this episode blows up. If it doesn't pour into his business, and your business, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what are we
Exactly.
doing?
What
you
are we
know,
doing?
like it's almost a waste of time, a waste of money. So it's like they all got to just literally, if this does well, or it's gonna flow into here somehow.
Exactly. And then it's like I think the other aspect of it too is for me, like music is a passion thing for me at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I got into the shit based off the story I told y'all through music, managing artists. So it's like the shit I can't run from it. It can't run from me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been fortunate enough because again, Sony Music was my very first corporate job. And funny enough, the only thing I had on my resume was Tykoon shit. I didn't have no other jobs. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
And
That's
you all-
clean. That's clean.
You know what I'm saying?
But you was prepared, you know.
Oh, without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? So like it was like 3 interviews and then what was the point of me saying that shit? Oh, the point of me saying that shit was when I with Sony Music being the first place I worked at, like I've already done the music shit. In my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just to kind of put in perspective, people that don't know, like Sony Music is the parent company to Epic, RCA,
Yep.
Columbia, Legacy. So I was working from the top ladder down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all these niggas be hype, oh, Epic, oh, RCA. Nigga.
I'm at the big house.
Exactly.
They're owned by a
That's
parent.
big house.
You know what I'm saying? They're owned by somebody. So it's just like I like respectfully have flexed my muscles on the music space. Like we got to work with amazing artists. I got to do a lot of dope shit.
Yeah.
So I'm on the what's next type of wave. But I was still saying to the main point is like I'm always gonna be in music through relationships that I've established then.
Long time ago.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why, like, you know, from time to time, I'll help like artists like Wale or like Manny Wells or who else do I be fucking working with on the consistent? It be artists that I be forgetting they famous and shit. Like we just be like,
Got such a great relationship.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like it be that type of thing because like when I was like, so right now I'm 22. I met Wale when I was 16.
You 22, bro?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's wild.
Right, he said he was in college in 2022.
Yeah, I graduated
Did
college when I
say
was
that.
20 and graduated high school when I was 16.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been
Type
a long
shit.
day, bro. Come on.
Come
Yeah.
on, yeah, that's crazy.
Me
Bro,
break.
it's late. It's
But
late.
I'm just trying to put in perspective of like, all right, cool. Like it's 224. I'm 20. I met Wale when I was 16. So I'm gonna over a course of time, like you're gonna forget, like, oh yeah, this is like Wale.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
Bro,
homie
at this
and
point, yeah.
That's big,
type
bro.
shit. But it's a lot of scenarios just like that to where as though like I wanna go. I don't have niggas I know. I don't know fucking Steph Curry yet. I don't know
Yeah.
KD yet. So it's like let's keep on climbing the ladder. Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, if I'm going to a game, Wale's pulling up. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Yeah.
sports nigga. So that's where the intersection is there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I mean? So
It's funny. I'm super glad you brought this up because it's like I know you work with. Just can you name drop a few people that you work with as far as like large,
artists
big
or
names
like athletes.
In general.
in general?
Yeah.
Names people will know because they're
Of course.
like, okay, this.
Yeah, I got. I'm gonna kick off with the
Because
athletes.
I
like-
seen you
Yeah.
with Champ.
Yeah, I was just about to
Yeah.
start with him. Like Devin Haney, Clarissa Shield, she's also a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Artist wise, what's it called? Obviously, I just mentioned Wale.
Yep.
Manny Wells. If y'all don't know Manny Wells, definitely check him out.
Mhm.
Paris Price is lit. Y'all did anybody watch The Shy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you
Mhm.
know the Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I work with her.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Damn.
Who else? I work with Tia Corin's DJ.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Then it'd be the DJs. I know a lot of
Yeah.
DJs,
you
a lot
feel
of
me?
producers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously any producer that's worked a while. Like Friday, I met Friday actually way before he blew up.
Wow.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
He came to, so he signed to Def Jam, the same label that Wale signed to.
Mm.
So crazy story, before like Friday blew up, they had sent Friday to the studio just to kind of support, you know, some things that Wale was cooking up at the time. And he was telling us like, yo, like I got this song that me and Khaled cooking up. Khaled's trying to get Hove on it,
Mm.
potentially get
I
Wale
did.
on it.
Ah.
That's what he was talking about. And like,
That's-
I'm a young nigga, he's a young nigga. I'm just gonna say on behalf of the whole crew, we believed him. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't come in as an artist. At the time, he was just songwriter, producer vibe. So as far as we know, he didn't even have anything out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the shit he's playing is hard. Everything is hard. And then fast forward, God did history, and it's just like it was just me, him, and Wale in the studio that day. You know what I'm saying? So like
Wow.
those type of experiences and opportunities. So if Friday see me right any day, like he's gonna obviously like recall, like, yeah, like you was in there when I was talking about
Right.
a little bit of this shit potentially happening.
That's
You know what I mean?
Major.
That memory will never leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like even sometimes I seen him at the BT Awards last year, and I'm like, nigga, how this shit feel, nigga? Yeah. He's like, bro, I still can't believe that shit. And that's the beauty of the entertainment industry to me.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
being there to ask those type of questions. Like,
Right.
nigga, I remember how this shit was before all this paparazzi.
Just watching and
Yeah.
You know what I
everything.
mean? It's like, nigga, like how it feel. You know what I mean? And then worst case scenario, if they need marketing, they know they can call me. So I always like to tell my niggas, like, I'm not here to be an ornament, bro. Like, give me something to fucking do.
Help
Yeah.
me,
You know what I'm saying?
Help me help you.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like even with Wale, like worst case scenario, if there's nothing to do, like what I do in the studio, like if I go to the studio, like more than likely I'm the only nigga in there that's not an artist or a producer. But like if I'm not doing no marketing shit, like normally like different people are coming in, giving him game. Like for his birthday, J. Cole actually came to the studio, one of the craziest like celebrity experiences I would say.
That's dope.
Mm.
Like for his birthday, he was giving him game, long story short though. And my job is I'm just in there taking notes on everything.
Mhm.
After the session, I send it to Wale. Like here's everything that they said.
Yeah.
Here's everything on some
Just own
AI
it.
Yeah.
shit.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
what's
it's
back.
like, I literally have a note on my phone like Wale since dating back to like to everything that goes on when I'm there. Like I write it down and then I send it to him and his cousins just so they can have some sort of like. So it's like you gotta be like valuable somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
provide
give yourself
value.
something to do. Like, sometimes they don't even tell me to do. He's just like, Gucci, you taking notes? I'm like, nigga, you know I'm taking notes, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like, literally taking notes.
Yeah.
Like, not just, oh, yeah. Like, literally.
Y'all should be taking notes.
Yeah,
Y'all should
You said
everybody's
that
gonna
earlier,
you know what I'm
too.
saying? So it's
There's
just really, I'm
always
big
something
on
to do.
providing service, like active service, holding nigga bag, like any time of the day. While they tell me to pack and shit, like it ain't nothing, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's the homie. Like it's
Nah,
ain't nothing.
that's amazing. And I was gonna
Mhm.
say as well, like even going back to being in the studio with Friday and Wale, and like how you said you would ask Friday, like, how does it feel?
Yeah.
And that's the question you would ask him.
Yeah.
Now from us, with everything you've done and what you're doing, how does it feel?
I mean,
Mhm.
nigga.
For real.
I mean, it
Because
do
you done
kind of feel
said some
crazy.
shit.
And I do feel kind of crazy because like even just being out here in LA, bro, like nigga, this shit, I still till today, like I'll look at some palm trees and like I'm really out in LA.
That's a fact.
Nigga.
I
You know what I'm
love
saying?
Yeah.
You know what it means to be an African nigga from Maryland to be
Talk
in
about
LA,
it.
nigga.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? So nigga, I'm still living in this shit and I'm still trying to do a better job of slowing down in life, you know, continue to realize that a nigga is young in a sense to where though I be trying to make sure I'm not trying to live too fast because life is obviously moving fast for a nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's just like in that sense, like, you know, life is good. I feel like it's still a lot of shit I haven't seen yet. And I feel like, I mean, it's been like 2 years since I've been here. And it's just like, I feel like it's slowly starting. I got a lot of shit done in these 2 years, but
But now it's like it's really starting.
Yeah.
the purpose in which I came here for like people to like be aware of the offerings out here, like, you know, speak at these
Mhm.
schools, USC, all that type of
Yep.
shit. Like
Saying that.
that shit is like dream come true. I be telling all these schools when I be going and speaking, like, y'all don't know what it means to come from Maryland and come to USC and talk. And y'all here to listen to me.
Yeah.
Nigga. You know what I'm
It
saying?
don't feel real.
It don't feel
You
real.
out
I
there,
couldn't get into USC. I couldn't even
Mm.
imagine applying to get into USC. I didn't have
Mm.
no GPA qualification, nothing. You know
I
what
couldn't
mean?
get into USC. Now I'm speaking at USC.
Respectfully.
Might
Did
be
it
the only
your
team
way.
that gets paid. in
Your way, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Hey,
man.
and I could only imagine speaking. We haven't spoke to a college yet, but we went and spoke back to like high schools and things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a crazy coming from small little Patterson and doing big things, you know, going to speak at Fairfax. So when you're in those rooms, what do you take in from that? Because I know we have our own things, but I want to know your perspective. When you're in that college room, like I'm really
I mean,
talking
shit,
here.
man. You know, I be telling myself respectfully, like, I mean, between you and God, y'all made it happen.
Right.
Again, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, like, they be surprised when they see this shit. And I be telling folks, like, the shit that y'all be seeing me do this year, I was planning that shit last year.
Yeah.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? The
mm,
shit that you finna see me do, like, in the next, all that shit was planned last year. You know what I'm saying? And we about to start planning for next year in the next couple quarters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
mhm.
So I'm saying all that to say,
Good
like,
calendar.
I'm a firm believer in God helps those who helps themselves.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and also in that same like breath, like I'm a big advocate for think, plan, execute. And the hardest part for people is executing.
Yep.
Mhm.
Last part.
Everybody can think. Some people might plan. People are not going to execute. And
Yeah.
then my challenge is you're not going to execute better than me.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
let's talk
So
about it.
if you get here, I'll be here. If you do. If most people don't meet me there. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
Not really.
based off experience, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, to the point of these questions, like, even when I be speaking at the schools, like, these are schools that I reached out to.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, every single school, like, there's schools that I reached out to. It was like, you know what? I want to speak at some schools, gather my team together. What we gonna do? We gonna figure out all the LA schools in this motherfucker.
Yep.
I want you to find out the point of contact. I'm
Yep.
gonna get an email draft to y'all. Let's get us some emails,
Mhm.
and then y'all see the book tour
Mm.
on social media, just how that looks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was an initiative that I'm pretty sure wouldn't have happened if I didn't, you know, decide that this is what I wanted to do.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I want to go
Move
speak at
towards
some
it.
schools. I don't like we're gonna figure out what I'm gonna say when I get there, but let's find some schools. Let's
Mhm.
get like 6, preferably in LA, so I can pull up.
Mhm.
USC will be great. You know what I'm saying? And then with me already being in college, like I know how the school shit works. So
Yep.
they're more than likely a student organization. Most student organizations actually need to be having X amount of events to even stay active.
Oh
Mm.
wow.
Mhm.
So they kind of not need me, but like it would help them better than hurt to just have
Yeah,
me
sure.
pull up and talk my
No
shit.
better leverage.
You know what I'm saying? And that's me knowing that just graduating college. So I'm already
Mhm.
knowing like, all right, cool. Let's find all the sports marketing clubs. Let's figure out their presidents. They're probably students who are not too far in age from me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then that's how we just puzzle piece the tour together, like in-house. We didn't need no sponsor for that shit or none of that. It's
Mhm.
just like
Amazing, man.
the know-how of the ecosystem that you're trying to, you know,
Groundwork.
infiltrate. You know what I mean?
No, that's
Groundwork.
fire. And I was gonna say too, because like I know we gotta wrap up soon, but
Yeah.
I can't go just yet You got a book.
Oh yeah. Right.
Like we
got-
cat.
oh, yeah,
we
we
gotta talk about
cat.
that, yeah.
We cat,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Like,
Crazy.
shed some knowledge on that.
Yeah,
Talk
man.
about
I mean,
the
it's
book,
it's
bro.
just about NIL, man. I think I created it just for number one, credibility purposes, but number two, just like, you know, in the NIL space, a lot of parents are involved. So like they're normally asking me questions and stuff like that. So just get the book.
So it's literally just
Curriculum.
like handbook, guided, everything.
next.
Like
So it's
everything
good
you need
for
to
the
know
parents
is
and
right
the
in there.
kids.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
good for the parents and the kids. I definitely recommend the parents. It's called the Game Plan for Your NIL Success.
Mhm.
Go grab
Available
that.
on Amazon,
Come
Barnes
on.
and Nobles, TycoonSports.com, bookstore near you. And it goes through everything from the basics of NIL to how to find deals. I have a lot of gems on there on like platforms and newsletters that are always giving updates. I have some context on how to pick a platform to use. So if you want to go the TikTok route, the Instagram route, based off the type of stories you want to tell about yourself. And a lot of the stuff we talked about here too, like the essence of the personal brand. We talk about a USP, which stands for your unique selling proposition. So like what makes you different from the next athlete? Like what's your USP? So we boil in on like how to define that, all of that type of good stuff.
That's
So
amazing.
Love
yeah,
it.
dig into it,
That's
man.
clean.
That's fire. And then even just for like your own personal business and like your brands, where can the people find you guys
Yep.
tuned in and watching?
Yeah, man. So on socials, Peter.Iwuh. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, TikTok too. So yeah, appreciate y'all.
And then what about Tykoon?
Yeah, Tycoon Sports. Tycoon Sports with a K, not a C.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tycoon Sports with a K, not a C.
Mhm.
Tycoon Sports with a K and not a C. A
And
lot of people be putting that C.
Yep.
Gotta say it 3 times for me.
Yeah, a lot of
Real.
people put in that C, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
gotta plant the
Yeah.
seed.
But we got the name from the actual word though, and I just switched to C.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I was gonna say you like Master P growing up, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I knew because I'm this whole time I'm just like, bro,
Yeah.
I see P right now.
it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a real good year, man.
And,
I
That's
love
a
that.
fact.
and no, just before we really let you go, like, is there anything you want to leave the people with, or
That I was about to say for the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
This is for hustlers, entrepreneurs, people trying to elevate themselves or create a business. And what's your best piece of advice you can leave? them
Yeah,
with?
man. So this is what I'm gonna say.
this is
I
your
feel-
community
I-
now, man?
Yep.
I feel like within this, I don't know, however long conversation we went over some monumental gems. So I'm just gonna summarize some key points. So first things first, stay focused. You know what I'm saying, and don't try and do side missions. Just stay on your business route. Like whatever your vision is, it don't matter if your brother tell you this is the new poppin' market or your cousin tell you this. Just stay focused. Don't even let your parents decide. Because I'm a big firm believer. You have 5 fingers on one hand, but they're still not equal. So it's just like just because somebody said that it didn't work for him, it didn't work for them. That doesn't mean it ain't gonna work for you, right?
That's a
The
fact.
next thing, everybody need a VA, man. Everybody needs to have a virtual assistant. If you need to learn how to get a virtual assistant, DM me on the gram. We can have a one-on-one.
Where they gonna find you at?
Peter.iwuh.com, Peter.iwh, and we could talk about automating your system. And on that same note, make sure you're looking into automation tools. AI is the wave. From you don't need to be manually sending out emails. We do not send out emails. We don't manually follow up with emails. Half of my shit is automated, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Smart.
Like I even have messages from my VA that's scheduled to go tomorrow. So like if I wake up late, she just still gets a message anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fire.
So it's just like automation and yeah, man, just stay consistent. Man.
Systems.
smarter,
man.
not
Yeah.
harder.
Systems.
Man, goddamn.
That's the bar. That's the bar.
Nah,
Work
you
smarter,
said you
not
got
harder.
5 fingers and they not equal.
Nah,
that was
that
the
was-
bar.
I ain't never heard that one.
Yeah, they not. They might be close. These two might be close, but
Bruh.
they still not the same. You know
I
what I'm
looked
saying?
at my hand and said,
We all
Whoa.
I looked. I was like, damn, got me thinking.
Yeah,
right,
man.
but nah, man.
So yeah, hopefully y'all can do some shit with that. And like they said, just make sure y'all rewind and whatever y'all need
Yep.
to do.
For surely.
Yeah.
Man, you
Been this back a few times.
run
Yeah,
this
man.
whole thing.
Send it
back
to your
a couple
nephews, your
times.
aunts, anybody that got a business, let them know some gems in here, man.
Man,
Appreciate y'all.
goddamn, man. Peter Iwuh, Tycoon Enterprise.
Yes, sir.
It was a blessing, brother. Thank you.
Love, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
pleasure,
the time,
man.
brother.
Proud of y'all, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, man. And I'm excited for this platform to do its thing, man.
Let's go.
Hopefully this goes crazy though.
Oh, it definitely will.
Crazy.
This bro,
Paid
definitely will.
advertisement.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this.
No,
back.
without
Oh,
a doubt.
easy.
Like-
Easy.
No, this
I'm gonna have to rewatch this
Yeah,
back.
man.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave him with one more thing. Trust God, but still work.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe that.
God,
That was
pay-
smooth, man.
God pays you for your prayers and labor.
Wow. Yeah, man. That was a vibe.
that was crazy.
Oh, no.